Ta-da. Okay. Hey guys. Hey, it's Wednesday again, which is the day that we meet for this meeting, just in case there was any confusion about what today was or what meeting we're in. It's the Meshery dev meeting. Meshery is the CNCF project, so we record these meetings and stream them out to YouTube. So if you look in Zoom, there's a link to the YouTube live stream. Of course, you need to smash that like button and hit the subscribe and, uh, and then force a chuckle at any jokes that are made. You also should put your name down in here so that, well, for no good reason, actually. I'm not sure. Why do we do this? Does everyone think that we should continue to do this? Yes, you should. It gives you a sense of belonging. It helps us recognize who was actually in the meeting, and if something was talked about and they weren't there, maybe they got assigned an action item when they weren't, present. If you're a consistent contributor and you're a consistent community member, sometimes you'll want to send just a quick note that you won't be around. So sometimes we have a little section here about folks that have sent regrets, just saying that they couldn't make it today. So Rajesh and said he's not feeling well, so he's going to be out. So he was going to give an update on Meshery UI. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So welcome to the call. My name's Lee. I'm one of the maintainers here. There's about 12 or more. There's about 12 core maintainers and maybe 5 extensions maintainers. We don't have enough maintainers, actually. Some maintainers are able to focus in just a specific area. Some go across a couple of areas, but we have many, many areas in Meshery. So if you're here long enough, I'm just going to forewarn you that at some point you might be asked to be a maintainer. You might be, that process really doesn't work quite like I phrased it. It's not really like you're being asked to. It's really more like you're just already doing it, and then we come behind you and recognize it. Like you're already doing it, you may as well be empowered with some additional decision-making authorities, some voting rights, some talks at KubeCons. There's a variety of things that maintainers get. They get, along with those privileges, they also get the like the unglorious, if I can make up a word, chores that come along with doing maintainer stuff. So if you can't tell, it's pretty easy for me to distract myself and digress on any given topic. So if we get back to the meeting agenda, drop your name in, and I don't think we've got announcements today. There are some things that are noteworthy that we should just continually remind people of. If you're new here, I highly encourage you to attend tomorrow's newcomers meeting. There's a weekly newcomers meeting. Attend more than once, especially if you still feel a little confused about the scope of Meshery, because it's fairly big. It's also good to attend because each time you do, you get a PR merged. We take attendance there. And the way that we take attendance in that meeting is by updating our meeting minutes, our meeting records in the Meshery repo. So that's a nice thing to do. Another announcement to talk about, or something that we should mention, is, so I think that LFX has an the Linux Foundation has an internship program called LFX. Meshery is the most popular internship there. We've got we have like 5 internships open and labeled, but we really have as many internships as we want to open up available to us. We run our own LFX program, or the Meshery project does. And for one of the programs, yesterday is the due date for bringing aboard 5 new interns. So we'll have to get that. That'll be an announcement. Meshery is also participating in GSOC, this again. And so TBD on how many slots. My guess is we're going to participate twice. So once as Meshery unto its own. And given that it's its second year and we had two last year, my guess is we will have 3 or more slots that we would go up, maybe 4. And that Meshery will also participate under the CNCF umbrella, under that flag, so to speak. And so we would get at least 1, if not 2 slots there. Slots being internships. So we need, speaking of maintainers, we need more maintainers and mentors. There's just miles and miles and miles of things to do around here. And yeah, we need people to collaborate in order to get things done. Even for me, who I like to think that I know what I'm doing, and but like unless someone's collaborating with me or reviewing my work, there's just mistakes all through it. Kind of like the notes that I'm taking here, which are pretty much, illegible unless you're on the meeting. The last thing that I'll say, and then hopefully I can be quiet and listen to the rest of today's topics. The last announcement is, the last thing we should mention is, oh yeah, there's an ongoing study group, which also meets on Fridays. The study group is for the CNCF's only contributor certification. Yeah. You guys try talking and typing at the same time to see how well you do it. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, it's a contributor certification. And yep, on Fridays, there's a study hall. So anyway, on all 3 of these topics, there are a number of other people in the meeting right now and other people in our Slack that you can ask questions to and ask questions of if you've got questions about this. Or just general process, like, is it okay if I open up a new GitHub issue? Or, when you do ask those questions, please ask them publicly to the extent that you can. Sometimes you got to chat privately, trying to get to know somebody or something, or you need to complain about me, like definitely, you can do that publicly. Go ahead. I know it's happening, so go ahead. Or you can do it privately. But to the extent that you haven't, to the extent that you're discussing anything about the project, do it publicly. You're cheating yourself out of an engagement with other people who might want to help out or have the answer or want to collaborate with you or didn't know that you're an up and coming leader in the community and you're an up and coming steward of the project. All of that goes unnoticed and unknown, and it all goes repeated over and over and over and over again privately. So don't cheat yourself out of being a leader here. Do it publicly. All right. Does anybody else have announcements that I didn't cover? While you think about that, it could be general, by the way. It could be, hey, I saw this cool piece of tech. Thought it might be helpful to the project. I thought people here might be interested. I used a new MCP server, or oops, I just said AI. Is that okay to talk about here? Or can we use that here? Which could be a good, topic down below. Or what you might have is that you might be brand new to this meeting. You might not have attended this before and have had the luxury of listening to all of the funny things that come out of my mouth. It's just, you should have to pay. It should be like tickets, to the show. Anyway, if you're new on the call for the first time, say hi. Take a moment, maybe turn your camera on if you can. Just say hi so everybody else can get to know you and you can break the ice. So Freeman, I think we were chatting just a little bit earlier. Have you been on this call before? If not, do you want to say hi?
Hi. I've been here before some months ago. I think in November. So I've
Oh,
been here
okay.
since November.
Oh, nice. Yeah, nice. And you're calling it, yeah, where are you located? Is it Lagos?
Nigeria, but in Kwara State, not Lagos State in Nigeria. But
Oh,
I'm
okay.
in Nigeria.
Yeah, nice.
Yes.
Ah, very good. And then Freeman, you're working right now, you're working on relationships, right? Meshery relationships.
Yes, exactly. That's what
Nice.
I'm
Okay.
working on.
Cool. Well, if anybody else here is looking at relationships, tag Freeman as you're doing it so he can keep pace
I
or
will be
offer
glad.
some.
I will be glad to help and collaborate with you.
Awesome. All right. Everybody see how easy that was, how unawkward that was for Freeman to say hi? Yeah. Who else wants to say hi?
Um, Hi.
Sola. Hello. Oh no. It was Sola's big moment and the internet took a poo poo. I feel like I need to wash my hands. But does anybody else want to say hi or go wash your hands? Yeah, nice. Um, if you, good, maybe everybody has said hi before. If you haven't, I'll let you know that. But if you don't say hi, you're cheating yourself. Sometimes you want to say hi twice or two or three times, because not everybody is on the same calls all the time. So you get to know everybody. Let them get to know you. Otherwise, yeah. Anyway, okay, good. Well, that's Leah's chewed up 16 minutes of the meeting. And so we're got the next 45 minutes to dig into a variety of topics that we have. And I think Ranak, your topic is up first.
Yeah. Uh, so here's some of the quick updates about the migration of docs.meshery.io to Hugo. So to set information about the context, this is our docs.meshery.io, and we have migrated this to from Jekyll to Hugo. And we are left with workflows that automate the documentation. So one of the things is left is the workflows, and we need to finally deploy the new website. And but like there's a bunch of ways how you can help. So you can, for example, replace any occurrence of the previous liquid template syntax that we have in the new code base. So you can go and clone or fork this repository, and you can check out, find and replace all of the syntax that we have. And you can also check out some of the more issues, like for example, if you check out the deployment preview, so this intra-page nav that we have, so whenever we click on edit this page, so this is broken, so we can't edit the page and for the new documentation. So you can correct this link, open an issue about it. You can add a short code for this member form.html. So also regarding all these issues, so they have been updated in the migration plan. So you can check out the migration plan. So for example, these are some of the open issues. Some of them are assigned, some of them are being worked upon. Um, you can check out here's the list of all the includes that has been migrated to partials and shortcodes. You can check out, so the unhighlighted ones, they haven't been migrated. So that's one of it that I just showed. So you can open issues about it and definitely migrate there. Another thing is about, you can add a proposal, you can improve the migration plan. You can add a proposal to add some weights, improve taxonomies and things like that. So yeah, that's it from my side. You can also ping me on Slack or to give more help if you want.
Some of you are collaborating with Ranak on this migration, or another way of phrasing it is some of you are collaborating in this effort. Wonderful. Is there anybody on the call that is either has an update on things that they're working on, or anybody that has questions about this or that wants to work in that area? Talk to
Yeah,
Renaud.
like Yash, Bhumika, they're helping me on quite a few things in fixing.
Yeah. Good. Yep. Yeah. Yeltsin, Mr. Gorbachev, would
Oh,
you?
hey there, everyone.
Sorry.
Um, um, so just a quick question. First, I don't want to commit without feeling like, I can deliver. So I'm working on the logger migration, but I believe I might have time to help out with that. So I'll be tentative, and I think I can help out with the Hugo migration. I had a question though, which was I thought I saw this as a project for LFX or GSOC, don't remember which. Is that still a thing or is that already done?
It is as much done as the progress that Renaud has just shared. It is on, which is a direct answer to your question, but then to give some context around that, like there's an unbelievable number of projects to do. Like, and the if we had more maintainers and more mentors, it would be easier for us to conveniently line up the work with the start of the dates of the times of the terms of like there's a ton of things for us to do with Jekyll. Just as, or I'm sorry, not Jekyll, with Hugo as an example. Like, let's say that someone was you're really looking forward to that particular project, and hey, it's already in flight, and like I don't, I can help out some with finishing it off, but I feel like, but I'm dismayed that I didn't get in on the ground floor and couldn't carry that project forward. Like some of us might feel that way, or I might feel that way if I came to the project. The reality is like the reality is there's a bunch of other projects. There's so many other projects. But even just on that specific technology, just on Hugo, I'll readily give an example of where we would. I mean, like there's a bunch of examples. Actually, there's a bunch of examples of where we want to make it better. But one of them is that the contributor certification, the third announcement that we were going over, the way that when you take the test, when you take the certification, that the exam and the website that you use to take the certification, it's built on Hugo. Or like, so it's just using the same, it's, as a matter of fact, I think, we're sharing some of the same some of the same reusable code between a number of those repos. So like all in all, between Meshery core and Meshery extensions, I'm not sure how many. In the last year, we've had a proliferation of the use of Hugo, specifically, just as an example technology. Like just sort of using this project as an example of like, hey, so sometimes the projects get started earlier. Sometimes, most of the time, actually, most of the time, what happens is the projects don't finish. If you guys go look at the titles of the projects that are listed out there in LFX specifically, the ones that are currently closing, and look back over the last few terms, you're going to see a ton of repeats. There's a couple of things that happen. One, what usually happens is the people that get selected are not capable of actually doing what's described in the project. And we set aspirations as to like what we want to do with the project and try to get us toward that. But like the candidates that we have most often just aren't capable of doing it, the thing. And so you'll see a repeat of what's there, or sometimes they are and they do a great job and great. And but the project itself was bigger than a term. It's just like an ongoing effort. Okay, good. Sometimes the candidates that are selected are capable of executing on what was described. Turns out that we thought 3 months earlier when we wrote it up, we thought, hey, that's what's going to be the focus and that'll be the right priority in the roadmap. And by the time that we got there, I was like, no, the priority is over here. Can you focus and work on this? And they're just as happy to do that, and it's just as interesting on whatever that other thing is. And so it's really malleable or quite flexible. Like, yeah. Anyway, I was just trying to give you a full answer. I don't know if that helped, Yelson.
That's very good. I really appreciate that. And I'll just add, and I think probably other people feel this way as far as people applying for internships. I think when I'm applying for an internship, if I were to learn that a lot of the work has been done and it makes my job easier, I would be very happy.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I wouldn't be upset at all about that.
Nice. See, you're a glasses half full guy. I'm like a glasses half empty guy. Oh man, they already did it. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, and that's right. I mean, yeah, any of you could just to that point, anybody can step in and help with a couple of those items that were just being listed, and you'll finish off the last 15% or whatever. And yep, you'll be able to state that you helped, migrate the project. Like, yeah, anyway. Good. Any other thoughts or questions on the topic of Hugo or Meshery docs? The docs aren't in the best place. The content for the docs, they're not the best. There's some good stuff in there, but they're really missing like common tasks that people need to do. Like connecting, sure, establishing your first connection to a Kubernetes, that's laid out it's laid out pretty well. There's a lot of the doc. It's not that we're like missing tons and tons of documentation. It's more like the documentation that's there, the quality needs to improve, or things have changed, or it just wasn't well written in the first place. And for my part, my hope is that when this shift from Jekyll to Hugo facilitates and sort of greases the wheels for people contributing to the docs and makes it right now, if you go build Meshery docs, do you guys know about how long it takes to build? Or anybody? So it depends on your machine speed, but it could be like 2 or 3 minutes. And then if you make a change and you save that change and you want to see that your change reflected locally, you can't rely on the incremental builds. So you might have to do a full build, which would be another 2 or 3 minutes. It's super painful to me. And so, yeah, with Hugo and a Go-based build system, there's a number of things that will benefit from Hugo. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about this. So the next topic up is from Matthew on Meshkit. And so, Matthew, are you with us?
No.
Oh, he's not. Oh,
I,
okay.
I was late, didn't see the clock. So, yes, I had a discussion with Adib about that in Slack. Currently, we are using Logris as a logger in Meshery CTL and Meshery server, but the repository is currently in maintenance mode, and I just want to validate that we want to move to another framework that is more where the repo is more active. And I give a list here of the new ones: Zap, which come from Uber, Zerolog, and Slog. So just wanted to discuss about it and determine which one we want to use, and after that plan to make the upgrade. So yeah, that's it.
Anybody have a perspective about that?
Hey, Yeltsin again. Um, so, thank you, Matthew, because you've been helping me with the logger migration, and you shared this information with me as well. I think what my pressing question would be, because it seems like you know a lot about this, was if you had an opinion on what would be the best one to migrate to. Also, completely agree with what Abdi suggested. Let's finish out the logger migration, so we're not using two loggers, Logrus and then the Meshkit logger. And then once it's all in one place, we could switch it up. But yeah, if you had an insight on like what you thought the best one would be, I think I have an opinion as well. I'm sort of leaning, well, I'll let you answer, but I'm sort of leaning on zero log. I've heard really good things about it.
I don't have any opinion because I am using all of them in different projects. So the main point here, I think it's to check with Logrus which one would be the easiest to migrate, because in Meshkit we are doing already some customization. So just want to validate which one of the options are the easiest to migrate, but I don't think it is a big deal here. And yes, definitively, we want to finish the migration of the current migration before that. Perhaps also we could review how, at least in Meshery CTL, I found that it's really hard to follow how this is initiate and passed everywhere. So perhaps we could also find a better way to initiate the logger once and just propagate it across all subcommands in a more efficient way.
Matthew, can you say that part again? I didn't.
Yeah, currently, it's really obscure how there's some place where we are initiate the logger, and sometimes I've seen, for example, the pull requests where there were some dependency cycle because we were calling the util package, but we were referring the the current package. Bref, there were dependency cycles in some places when we did the migration, and I think that it's because we don't initiate it properly in one place and then propagate the logger handler properly in the subcommands. I think this need to be resynced perhaps also in the way that we have one logger and we reuse it everywhere, and it's easy to find where it is.
For so many reasons, that makes sense, right? Yeah. And so before we were to do any migration, like that just reinforces the fact that like if we can't get our poop in order now, then it doesn't make any sense to migrate to something else. We're just asking for more pain. So, yeah, Kavitha.
Yeah, I had a question on a related note. I noticed the three PRs which Yeltsin had actually started, and saw that everywhere we are actually referencing Meshkit logger. And inside the Meshkit, we are actually using the loggers. And if the logger has to be changed, it would be like a single place change rather than everywhere else. That's what we are actually intending to do, right? By making the changes only for the mesh repo.
Yes, the main goal will be to have a centralized space to manage everything related to logs and just reference it in the different projects. So basically, the Meshkit logger, it is used in Meshery CTL, but also in Meshery server. So it will beneficiate for both.
Okay, nice. And I was just wondering about one more thing. Like this sounds like we are actually going to compare between different types of loggers, and perhaps we can actually have some kind of a tracker issue in GitHub.
Yeah, no, wait, stop. Actually,
Or,
yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, Kavitha.
uh-huh.
Actually, let me nip this in the bud and say, guys, there's so much. We have bugs where people can't like install Meshery or they can't connect to Kubernetes or we are way we are not spending our time effectively or like this is not a topic we should spend more time on this call, much less put in like sure there are better loggers out there. Yes, and we should move to them. And Yeltsin, if you're around long enough, go do it, man. Run, kick butt and go do it. I can't, for my part, I won't spend any time on it because I gotta like focus on the stuff where people can't even run Meshery or like we've got secrets exposed in our workflows or like a bunch of other things. Sometimes it's good to work on something that's super low priority and off the radar to the extent that you can work on it independently. Wonderful. When it comes time for needing a review, you know, make sure you bring a healthy dose of patience because like I said, for my part, I ain't getting to it because I got to stick to like people come in and it's kind of comical. People come in and say, "Hey, where's the roadmap? What does that look like?" It's like, well, it's been eloquently articulated earlier on in the project. And then as time goes on, it's like there's no friggin' control over it anyway, because people come in and make it like, or because people come and go. Anyway, yeah, absolutely. Kavitha, that's something to go do. Good. But we just shouldn't like, just as a forewarn, as a heads up, like to the
Yes,
extent that
I 100% with you. This is not something that we should tackle now because there are already so much things to do before and merge.
Yeah. By the way, it's been suggested in the past, and the lady who was here, who's a maintainer actually, was looking at Zap. Oh no, I'm sorry, it was slog a year and a half ago, and it doesn't mean that this discussion needs to have completely go to waste, or like rather of what Kavitha had said is, hey, there's a post 1.0 roadmap, a 1.1. I don't think there's a 1.2 laid out, but somewhere after 1.0 is an appropriate place to make it to draft in, things like this. Every release should have a certain amount of maintenance that is done on the project, and this probably falls into that bucket. This can have some user facing value, outside of just the value of the project being up to speed and running well and efficiently and all that. It can have some user facing value to the extent that it were to bolster the framework by which we show people logs or let them control how much the flood of logs that they see, like in the UI, and that we catalog those better because we're using a better tool, maybe. Well, good. Well, so Kavitha, you've got the next topic. Actually, I think we're up to you.
I think I can actually take up that topic later because there are several other people who are waiting for their issues. I can take it up at the end. No issues.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Do we have um do we have someone to speak to this next topic? Is it Yash? Yeah, I think Yash Yash V. Are they on?
Matthew, I think this is actually related to the experimental organization command that we were discussing in that issue.
Yes, there's already command slash uh, reviews on the pull request and on the issue also.
Yeah, so I think like I'm not sure like if the guy is here, but I was just asking him like if it was previously under experimental, and he was moving it away and making a top level to actually remove it from being experimental, because otherwise it would be available in both places, a top level command and then also under experimental, which would be confusing. So that was the only ask.
Yes, we had a discussion with Lee, and I think we were okay to go directly promoted without going through experimental for this one because it's just doing a list, if I'm right.
Okay, okay, yeah, makes sense. I thought it was previously X-Men. Okay, then makes sense. We directly made a new
Yes.
command. Okay,
Yes.
okay, great.
I think we're up to the next topic.
No, you are
nope.
not, Darren, you are not visible.
Sounds good, Darun. All right, we'll come back. Mr. Freeman. Habib, we are up to you.
All right. Thank you. I'm here.
Good.
So about, can I begin?
Yep, we can hear you. If you're able to, so yeah, if you are at your computer and if you're able to, we'd love to see if you've got a camera. If you don't, that's fine. But if you could maybe share your screen and sort of introduce your topic, that'd be helpful.
I actually joined with my phone. I'm not
Oh,
with
okay.
my PC. And it's not that heavy. So it is not that CPU expensive and that heavy. So share screen and the like.
Got you. You know what? Thanks for turning on the camera. It's very nice to see you. Actually, I think that with your camera on,
Right?
the amount of bandwidth that you have makes it so that we can't hear what you're saying. If you don't mind, maybe turn your camera back off. No offense, but um,
All right. I hope my voice is clearer now.
not really. I can hear it, but I suspect those that don't speak English natively or it wasn't their first tongue would have a harder time. Yeah, go ahead. Do you have something you want to present on this particular issue or something you have
Yeah.
a question about?
So it is on certain relationship between ECS, AWS ECS, and the target group for ALB, also the application load balancer. So I've worked on it and I've attended to all the review and the like. And I was also told to update the image, that is the screenshot, with the latest, like after I've reviewed everything and attended to all what I have to attend to. So I should update it also. I've been trying to update it, but download, like running the server, the Meshery server and accessing Canvas on my system has been hectic. Like it has been hard for me to do, and even if I'm almost there, like the resources is killing my PC. But I'm trying to find a way around and make sure I run the Canva UI, that is the canvas, and test the relationship and update the screenshot as demanded. Yeah,
Good. I
that is
think.
it.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So no, that was an update on progress, right? And what you've done thus far. But
Yeah.
no question. Okay.
I've also attended to that.
Yep. If you would, you'll want to make sure that any outstanding, any open comment that you have on your pull request, that that in some respects what you want to do is, or you want to find closure on all of them, whether you're accepting the and incorporating the feedback, or you're rejecting it, or what. Like you want to get to the point where each conversation is resolved. Any which way that happens.
All right.
And then that way it just that signals that like, yeah, hey, there's no outstanding, there's nothing residual, there's nothing outstanding that needs to be resolved.
Yeah, understood.
Sometimes,
So the only need to be resolved is the screenshots that I've not provided. But every other thing I've attended to it. All
nice. Well, very good. Habib, anything else on your topic?
nothing much. I just want to know like any other tax that is any other issues that is available that I can also look into and prepare to work on.
Oh, yeah,
Or
there's hundreds of more relationships to define. So if you're having success there, I mean, I would encourage you to just continue down that same path.
right. If I should continue creating issue for it, I can't. I don't know how I can get those that has been defined already. That is the issue that has been created already, so that I won't duplicate an existing issue. Is there a place that I can check and see those that has been defined already and those that are yet to be that the issue is yet created for? I hope you get me.
Oh, I have to be honest, since that's all I can ever be on this call. No, I didn't listen to you. I'm sorry. I was busy trying to set
Oh,
up the next. Yeah, but yeah, good work, man. You got some comments you got to go get resolved, and we're running out of time, so I got to go to the next topic. So Praglava, you are up, and you're talking about the relationships command.
Yeah, so I have created a tracking issue, which is tracking 5 issues and related PRs, which are ready to review. And we are promoting the relationship command into a stable command. And yeah,
You want to share your screen?
yeah. I'll share my screen. Mm, mm. Is it visible?
How much is it worth to you? You've been around long enough, right? We've been making terrible jokes about like, you know. Anyway, I suspect eventually, if you're talking about something and people can't see it, well, they'll probably interrupt and let you know. I mean, at the moment, do we lose him? No, there he is.
No, no, no.
Yeah,
I think
it
it's
was.
not working for just black.
So
Still
I have
black, still black,
created
still black,
still
still
Still,
black.
black. Oh, what's the issue?
yeah.
So I don't know what's the issue.
I don't know either, but I can't click on your hyperlink to share on your behalf. So let's come back to you if we could. That brings us up
Yeah,
to
okay.
Mr. Shaw. Jay.
Hey, yeah. So I was just since I and okay, so I'm scrambling, but I'll be quick. I was looking at Meshery CTL and the source code, and I was looking at other issues within that component to contribute and triage issues. And can I share my screen? I'll try. Hopefully, my screen works, and I won't have any. Okay, it won't work because Chrome is requesting. Okay. Um, okay, maybe it'll work. I'll try. Just 1 second. Let me know if it's working.
There it is.
Okay. So I was basically using this and sorry, so many tabs. I was going through open issues and there are some old ones. This is probably 2024. This is fairly new and This is from 2024. So my goal was trying to see this and reproduce if the issues still exist, preferably update them. So um, those are not stale anymore, and probably pick one or two up to fix them, not just update them, if that makes sense. Is this so my question was, is this like recommended, or this work is being delegated to someone else to try as these issues? There are some old ones like this one, which is 2021, um, so on and so forth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally does to me. I wonder if Abid or Matthew or Hussein might have feedback first.
Yeah,
See
I
my green,
just
see my green and judge. Because I had been doing the same thing of late. I'm so happy that you have jumped the bandwagon and then started doing it
yeah,
along with me.
it's a little painful to see old issues, and I have this pesky thing of seeing open issues, and I just have this itch in my back of my head that I want to close it.
Uh, on this one, I can tell you that I have already have the same issues as you, and basically, I don't know what the best approach here. Perhaps we would have someone that will go through all of them and check if it's still relevant or not, and if not, just scrap them. I don't know. But yes, I have already started to clean some of them, but like you see, there's so many that it's hard work. I usually
Yeah,
I'm going through the those that in uh, the latest one and just go through different. There's already the same issue with pull requests. There are pull requests open
yeah,
since
yeah,
years, and I started to clean up them because I don't know if it's make sense. But yeah,
yeah.
uh,
Mhm.
I'd say if you see something that looks work, if you see that the issue is still working, perhaps we can just create a new one with more accurate details and curve the old one, so it will be uh, easier to follow what is the real state of those tickets.
Yeah, also
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if
Sorry,
somebody
go ahead.
is working on the issue, then you can just ask him like to help them or just review them if there's a PR
Yeah,
open. Like
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
also,
I
like if
think I
somebody has like completely abandoned the PR or something, then you can like remove that assignee so somebody new will work on it. Because some of the issues are important and we want to track them, and sometimes they get lost when we assign to some assignee. So, but yeah, like if somebody's working on them, then you can just try to help them, and if somebody has completely left it, then we can just remove them. And also like I think there is some special label we can add to it so the it doesn't get auto closed by the bot, because some of those issues are important to track.
is it a good approach to say, like, again, I'm just thinking out loud here, that okay, take five issues over some period of time, let's just say 1 week, try to reproduce them and post it in Meshery CTL channel and discuss whether they are worth closing, reopening, tagging with some new tags, and just either working on them. So I would do in
Yeah,
this
one of the
order.
tags that you can use is like issue slash mind, so that or issue slash will fix that sends the bot, like then the bot message in the PR thread that to can work on it, so the issue doesn't get auto close and we get reminded. So there are those two labels that can be added to the open issues.
I see, I see, I see. Yeah, and alongside that, I was thinking in terms of, like, there are two categories of issues that I'm seeing. One is where there are no PRs, no assignee, and as Matthew was saying, there are assignees, there are PRs, but they have been pretty old, and there have been multiple changes to the code base, so they don't make sense. So probably go in order of non-assignee, and again, let me know what the preference is. Non-assignee, no comments issues to old PRs, and then go one by one to latest issues, like old to new is what I was thinking. Does that make sense, Lee, Matthew, a bit?
There's one aspect of the activity that you're So by the way, before I say anything else, yes, go make a mess. Go, make a mess of those, like help get it cleaned up or
Mhm.
do it, make a mess, unmaking a mess.
Yeah.
Okay. And one of the activities that you might do in doing so would look a bit like this. By the way, maybe we should we have a community management handbook, but maybe we should publish a little bit more of what we're saying right now into it so that everyone is empowered to potentially assist with this. In GitHub specifically, and Abid or others, feel free to interrupt, but one of the activities is to is to thank well-intended contributors who have volunteered but are no longer working on the issue. And that's, I forget what we had a name for that, but to your point, for that particular like that's a little bit of a different question of like, is this issue still valid or has it been fixed? Or it's a bit more of like, hey, are you still working on this? And asking the person then if they're still working or if it's been fixed and maybe the issue wasn't closed but from the perspective of an issue, yeah, this is very helpful that you might be able to sort on, you would think like, well, let me just go through the oldest issues and look at potentially stale assignments and sort of, getting those stale assignments off so that other people who come by feel like, they can volunteer. It's actually, or I find that it's last updated is
Mhm.
because from that perspective, because there might be an issue that's quite old, but turns out somebody is actively working on it. But for those issues that haven't been updated for, yeah, let's not embarrass ourselves. Holy moly. But they haven't been uploaded, this may or may not still be relevant. Now, the relevance question, that's one question. And yeah, absolutely get it figured out and all that. But the other question is just, oh, hey, it's currently assigned. Are you still rocking and rolling on this? And I can tell you, Antoinette is not. I just spoke with her last month. She's one of the maintainers here. She's got some personal items, going on. She's not currently focused. She's not going to be offended if if we update this to reflect reality and to allow others to come in and help. So, but yeah, by the way, as you guys go to do that, to the extent that you're here long enough, you get imbued with the power to assign labels. We use the labels to do different things. Sometimes when you assign a label, a bot will come by and drop a clever note, of course, with a reminder to start the project. One other thing that,
Yeah.
yeah,
Now, is it
potentially
also, so before you press, is it also okay for issues where there is an assignee and they have done a PR and the PR is pretty old? Can we reach out to them directly on Slack? Is it okay to do that as well, just to confirm? Like, sometimes people work and sometimes something else comes up and they forget. So
totally, yeah, absolutely, yeah, every which way, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, best to do it. Not that you best to do it in whatever public forum you can, and because in part that holds them accountable, or
Sounds good. Yep. Makes sense.
harder to ignore. So, and so one thing I was just going to mention, probably many of you already recognize this, but to the extent that you're performing that activity, and maybe you want to ask this other maintainer if they're still working on this, if you end up asking that same question quite a bit, you might say, well, I'd like to apply the label, but I don't have the permission to. And it gets tiresome. My fingers tips hurt from typing out the same message. And yeah, I can copy and paste, but sometimes I'm doing it day over day. And so something that might be helpful to you in GitHub is if you end up sort of saying the same thing every now and again, GitHub has these little saved replies.
Oh,
Sometimes,
interesting. I don't know that. Okay.
so sometimes,
Mhm.
yeah. Did anybody else have? I mean, yeah, like in all the
Yeah.
ways. Yeah, go ahead, Kat.
On a related notes, there are sometimes I see that for the newer issues, at least people tend to jump in and then create a PR before getting assigned. And then there are actually few issues where there are actually two PRs, and when we want to assign it to somebody, we are actually confused as to whom to assign. So it's actually a better etiquette, in my opinion, to ask for maintainers to assign. I know that there had been actually a little bit of delay during the holidays because of unavailability of various people to get issues assigned, because of which I mean it would have actually been not given enough attention. But I think at least Saurabh, myself, Ronak, and Vyash are actually doing this actively. If you go to the first page of the issues, you can see that almost all of them have an assignee. And when you are actually trying to work on an issue, try to see whether there is no linked PR and then no assignee, and filter out the issues which has been actually lying there, and then start rather than working on something. um, Another thing is that it is I mean, when we are actually working in a global different places, some people need more context, some people need less context. So when you are actually creating PR, the description shall be actually in such a way that it is not too brief, not enough to be printed on two pieces of A4 size sheets. So it's always something in the middle will be actually helpful for people who are actually doing the review also. That will be useful, because having too much of information just for two lines of changes in, say, readme or something is not going to help for anybody. So according to the, yeah, AI is wordy. I mean, AI can be actually used for fixing issues and all, but when you actually create documentation out of it, I personally, I don't see that it is actually useful. It's just my opinion, but it's actually better to have a written, concise bullet points also should be actually easier rather than a two-page documentation. Because the Gemini Assist also, once you create the PR, it will also start with another big page of documentation on what exactly the fix is. So you end up having um, too much of words to digest, and you will lose context also. That's the thing.
Yeah, I'm guilty for creating descriptive PRs, probably more than one A4 size page. Yeah, I think that's all, and thanks for that. I'll probably reach out to you, Matthew and Kavita, over public channels just before I make any changes or like need any advice or any such. And really, thanks for every input. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay. Pin me in Slack. Just keep just ask in Meshery Steel channel, etc. Sometimes people talk to me in DM, but I have a life and I am not always present. So if it's in Meshery Steel, if I cannot reply, another one will be able to. So
Yep.
yeah.
I'll use the public channels. Yep. Message deal. Yeah. Got it.
All right. Well, we're at time. Sarah, thanks for having this in here, and Kavita, thanks for having this. We need to find a different venue to cover these, maybe Slack or there's the developers at Meshery.io. But we're at time, so we should cut it.
I think
Yeah.
mine
Okay,
is
okay.
already covered
Thanks.
with this discussion, so should not be an issue.
Thanks.
Maybe it's just Saurabh's PR that we have left.
And then did anyone have anything that we not this topic, but just anything that we missed, we needed to take note of? The newcomers meeting tomorrow, the study hall tomorrow.
It's going to be Friday, day after tomorrow.
Oh, what is today? Holy smokes. Thank you.
And
Yeah,
today's
today.
today is Wednesday.
I started off the meeting saying today is Wednesday. And just I lost track of that somewhere. It's been a long meeting. All right. Anything else?
It would be great if you can arrange one more meeting for newcomer tomorrow. Can we do it?
I am being silent, waiting for others to potentially chime in.
Yeah. Do
Actually,
you have any issues with attending on Fridays? I mean, what exactly is the issue?
The Friday meeting.
Yeah.
I think she
Yeah,
has
I mean,
joined
the
the call.
newcomers meeting, if you haven't joined, the newcomers meeting happens on Friday and it's a recurring weekly meeting. You can subscribe the community calendar for more information. So it previously happened on Thursday, but it has been changed to Friday from now, from some time.
All right. I thought so. I was aware only the part the newcomer meeting has been ended on the 22 of February.
No, it's still there. It
But
would be on Friday. It was just the day was shifted. The meeting
day
is
after
still
tomorrow.
same. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeltsin, did you have an item?
I
Last thing. Sorry, am I interrupting someone? Alrighty, I'll go. Last thing I was gonna say is to Matthew's comment, initializing Logros or the current logger, whichever one we're using inconsistently. I had an idea about that, which was maybe we create our own logging package within Meshery control that pulls in the meshkit logger. And so every file pulls that. Maybe that's a topic for another meeting, but that's sort of an idea that I wanted to throw out there.
Yeah, we can talk about this in Slack to
Okay, sounds good.
in a sync way, just to see what would be the best approach. We will tackle this after.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. See you next time. Yeah. Bye all.
Hi, I have a quick
Hi,
question.
everyone.
Hi.
everyone.
I don't know what you hear me.
Yep. See you next time, though, Mr. Habib. You have to do it on